Back to Planned Parenthood. They get $550 million of taxpayer money to continue their work. They're the largest abortion provider in the nation, and you're paying for it. So in any event, Margaret Sanger was the founder of Planned Parenthood. And go back and read her writings. She wrote a monograph that I read called Breeding the Thoroughbred. And what Margaret Sanger believed was there were defective, genetically defective people. They were Roman Catholics. They were evangelical Protestants. They were Southern Europeans. They were Latinos. And especially they were African Americans. And what she advocated was find a leader among the black community that is highly respected. Let him be our spokesperson and lead the black people toward euthanasia. That was the game. I mean, it's all spelled out. It's all written out. I don't know why people don't read that stuff, because she said it. That's what she wanted to do. The Nazis, on the other hand, had a term, useless eaters. They found people that they thought were defective, and they wanted to sterilize them and, of course, ultimately murder them. We can't have a concept of people who can be destroyed by the government. It's not good. And yet we have that in this country. And the big money, the Rockefeller Foundation and others, went to support Planned Parenthood. Why? Because the big buck people did not want to have welfare rolls cluttered with black babies that they had to pay for.
He was drafted, and then he refused induction on the grounds of his religious convictions on war.
My conscience won't let me go shoot my brother or some darker people or some poor, hungry people in the mud for big, powerful America, and shoot them for what? They never called me nigger. They never lynched me. They never put no dogs on me. They never robbed me of my nationality, raped and killed my mother and father. Well, I'm going to shoot them for what? How am I going to shoot them? Them little poor little black people, little babies and children and women. How can I shoot them poor people? I would just take me to jail.
We got this youngster, Kendrick Johnson, 17-year-old black child, found dead in high school gym and stuck between some athletic equipment. Then we find out that all his organs is gone, okay? The sheriff and all the folks down there, the natural causes. Now you got an undertaker and call, I know you're not being back, but you need to check this out. The undertaker, this happened in Georgia, Valdosta, Georgia. The undertaker that was brought in to deal with the body is the same undertaker from Miami that was used to deal with Trayvon Martin. Now, you're going to tell me, as close as Atlanta is with black undertaker, you're going to call all the way to Florida and have a black undertaker come up, and then they exhumed the body, because people was asking serious questions, and found out his body was stuffed with newspaper. The black undertaker from Miami didn't know that. Then he must be part of it, okay? Now
he's the same one who did Trayvon, right?
The same one that did Trayvon. And I've always suspected something was wrong with Trayvon, because it's not been for you in black radio, we would have never heard of him, because he laid in the morgue as a John Doe, okay? Case would have been closed. And so now what we're looking at now, the body's been exhumed, and we find out that all his organs was gone. I've been trying to tell y'all that, and I keep telling you, you don't hear it, that the drive-by shootings, most of them is body organ stealing, okay? We go back to and it's been reported, but ain't nobody listening, because it seems so awesome. But if you Google a New York Times story, July the 24th, 2009, 44 charged by U.S. in Jersey corruption sweep, and they talking about stealing organs. And so consequently, what the biggest money maker on the planet right now is organs. All these drive-by. Look, if I'm so thuggish, I'm just going to go and shoot people in the black community. What difference does it make if I shoot a woman or a man? Are you telling me these black folks that's doing it is so into respecting a black woman, they don't shoot them? 98% of drive-by shootings is men, and most of them are head shots. How you going to shoot me in the head from a car when your hand is moving? And all the bullets is going down. Am I on a rooftop or something? And so consequently, when you stop and think about, you know, how long this has been going on, and when you look at the New York Times article, let me tell you, me and Carl have been sharing this for a long time. When King was shot, was beat up by the cops, and he just died recently. Here's a story in the New York Times, Sunday, May the 10th, 1992. Los Angeles police differ sharply with the prosecutor on arrest. Police officers said today that they have arrested 18,213 people from Wednesday night, April the 29th, the day the riots began, through this morning. But the prosecutors say they cannot account for as many as 10,000 of them people. We don't know where they are. This is who talking? James Hearn, the Los Angeles City Attorney. It is a mystery to a lot of us in the system. Well, it is spelling 10,000. They do it under the auspices of a riot. Now, very seldom they'll slip and give information because both of them is talking and they not in on the you know. And so they saying we arrested 18,213. We can't find 10,000 of them. Well, I tell you what they went. They shipped them up to Gooseneck, Oregon, okay, to the Coast Guard Hospital. We checked it out, and somebody said, yeah, they brought 10,000, bunch of black folk came through here. How'd they explain it? Well, they just said they were uneducated, they couldn't find jobs, so we're going to teach them how to fight forest fires. And that talent is used all. You don't have to learn math or trigonometry to fight forest fires. That's what's been happening right in front of you. And so, let me give you an example. If you, my son, okay, and they come by the house and announce to me and your mother that you've been killed in a drive-by shooting, I have no jurisdiction over that body. That's a murder. That's a homicide. The coroner determines when I see that body, okay? So when I get in there and see the body and see all them stitches and needle marks and I just assume that was part of the investigation. I have no idea they're taking your organs, okay? That's what's been going on, and that's what happened. Very seldom you get that lucky. We got a bunch of us that follows them and look at it, but for the first time, I mean, CNN talked about it. It broke. The white station that broke it was headline news. And I mean, even the guy, I was shocked. Somebody called me and said, the guy that broke it said, Gregory's been talking about this for years. And so now, when you stop and think about what's been going on, why wouldn't I, as a mother or a father, I'm already shook up over my child being murdered. Why would I think there's anything devious about it? Okay? And now, all of you all that's listening that had a loved one, ain't no way you can get to the body because you got to go to court and have that body exhumed, and they're not allowed to do that.
To be true. Yet there it was, in print, in a respected newspaper. The accusation that the crack epidemic, which ravaged this country's cities, was spread with help from a secret army linked to the CIA.
We are sick and tired of your excuses.
And I hope that you'll help to put an end to it, because we are tired and we're hurt and we're angry.
I will tell you, Director Deutsch, as a former Los Angeles police narcotics detective, that the agency has dealt drugs throughout this country for a long time.
The director of the CIA, one of the country's most secretive institutions, facing the public at a town meeting in South Central Los Angeles. He claimed he found a link leading right to the CIA.
Men who were working for the CIA's army were responsible for bringing all that cocaine into Los Angeles that sparked the crack epidemic.
The CIA's army, Webb says, were the Contras, the anti-communist rebels fighting the government of Nicaragua back in the 1980s, an army founded and funded by the CIA. Crack use spread like wildfire in the early 1980s. And in Los Angeles, a drug dealer known as Freeway Ricky Ross was in the middle of it. Prosecutors called Ross the Walmart of crack. He made millions in the early 80s dealing to Los Angeles street gangs. Police say he was among the first to take expensive cocaine powder and cook it into low-cost, highly addictive crack, then distribute it through the gangs. Webb says Freeway Ricky helped trigger an epidemic of human misery.
It's destroyed our community. All the black men are in prison, most of us.
Rick Ross is now serving a life sentence for cocaine distribution.
The women are still strung on the drugs, kids without fathers, without mothers.
Police in Los Angeles say he virtually cornered the crack market, thanks to a steady supply of cheap cocaine. A pipeline so good that Ross was able to introduce crack to other cities, using his gang contacts.
A couple million, 2, 3 maybe.
A day.
On a good day.
Ross's drug supplier did have connections to the Contras. Dateline has been able to confirm that from former Contra leader Eden Pastora. And Pastora admits he received some aid from that drug supplier. But Pastora says he was not aware of any CIA drug connection. So we asked Gary Webb, where is the evidence the CIA knew of any drug dealing?
You have to define the CIA. If you're saying that people who were working with the CIA know they were doing it, yeah. Did the director of the Central Intelligence Agency know this? I don't know.
This New York Times, June 24, 2009, 14 charged by U.S. and New Jersey corruption suite. A 2-year corruption and international money laundering investigation stretched from the Jersey Shore to Brooklyn to Israel to Switzerland. And then they go on to say the people that they busted was 2 mayors, 3 people from New Jersey City Council. And then they go on to say what it amounted to was illegal sales of body parts. That's New York Times.
Oh, wow. That's a...
We don't know nothing about it. And it's us that steal. Another one came out in Newsweek, January the 9th, 2009. Organ trafficking was long considered a myth, but now mounting evidence suggests it is real and a growing problem even in America. And then you have the one that's kind of interesting. We show what the body parts sell for. So they have a diagram of a human body, and they have a mark of what's called, just like you was chopping up a hog. This is what the feet, this is what the pig feet sell for, here, right here.
Wow.
Okay? The problem is, I don't have no problem. I have a problem with black folks who think they so fucking hip, man. They don't even know nothing like this is going on. They believe all that crap they tell us. I'm not talking about square, I'm talking about my mama. I understand how ignorant she was and my grandma. But all these motherfuckers run around with ink, raising pins in their nose and tattoos on and talking that bullshit about how black they are. And this is how black the white folks say you are. This here come out of a Maine special prosecutor is interviewing families about 100 people who died suspicious or unexpected deaths to determine whether their brains was improperly removed. And so I walk down the street and I hear everybody talking shit about the basketball this and white folks this and black folks that.